What's up, guys? You ever watch something that's made for someone your age and then think, wow, the people who made this have no idea what people my age like? Well, that's how I felt watching Stuck. If you don't know what that is, it is a YouTube miniseries that came out about 4 months ago made by the YouTube channel Brat. If you don't know who Brat is, they're basically a YouTube channel that makes shows primarily for kids and preteens. Now you're probably wondering, what the fuck were you doing watching a show made for kids and preteens? And I can assure you, it wasn't for any sexual reason. Even though the main character's tits were handcrafted by Michelangelo himself, I can assure you my dick was flaccid the whole time. And for good reason. The acting in this show is subpar. I don't want to say bad because I've never acted before, but you can tell when someone's good and bad at acting. But to give the actors some credit, the dialogue isn't any better. It's like to write this movie, they would hide mics around different schools to pick up conversations, but they never got a full conversation, so they have to fill in the script with stuff they thought a kid would say, which ends up leaving us with scenes like this.
Did you get my text last night?
I was probably studying for that extra credit.
Like, I can go frame by frame and tell you what's wrong with each episode, but there's 8 of them, and not one do I get to see if the carpet matches the drapes, so I'll just summarize each one for you and point out some stuff that's unusual. Also, I just want to say that while they do have other shows on their channel, this was the only one I watched, and I'm assuming some are better than others since some are already at season 4, but just in case anyone thinks that this video is about the channel itself, it's not. For the record, I watched 1 episode of Manny and I laughed.
You know, ways we can grow apart instead of together.
That's only one option, and it's very bad.
Denied.
So first off, the show stars, of course, Enyu Manzor, and some other social media people. The only other person I recognize is this dude, and if you've seen my Brennan Taylor video, you know I fucking hate this guy. Why? Because he doesn't know how to respect the dead.
Look at all the tombstones. They're like big-ass tombstones here.
These are some next level shit.
Yeah, bitch.
Bitch, you see pictures?
Yeah, let's go check.
The show's premise is that Fiona, played by Enya, is reliving the same day over and over, kind of like Groundhog Day, or for the younger people, Happy Death Day. Either way, filming something like this is always better when it's just happening all together. I mean, each episode of this came out a week apart. That means they had people wait 8 weeks to watch the same episode 8 times, just with subtle changes. That's fucked up. So for the first episode, and basically the 7 other ones after that, Fiona is going to school and she is going to ask this boy AJ to go to a concert with her. But before any of that goes down, we get the first of 3 accidents they want us to notice for when the day repeats itself. The first one being a dropped egg.
Shoot!
Uh-oh, egg carnage?
Ugh, and that was the last egg.
After that, Fiona's mom is very adamant about her cleaning her room before her grandma comes. I think that's another one of the things you're supposed to recognize, but spoilers, we never meet that bitch.
Fiona, have you forgotten that your grandmother's coming tomorrow? I want her room to be nice.
You mean my room?
Fast forward to the school, and we get our next accident, which is an overly exaggerated spilled Slurpee.
Shoot! Oh man, I am so sorry.
Why are you having a cup of sugar for breakfast?
After that, we meet Calvin, played by Denzel, who, despite only being 21, looks way too old to be playing a high schooler. Maybe it's because he's like 6'8", 300 pounds, but anyways, he doesn't notice at all the red stain on Fiona's shirt and only cares about her concert tickets like a true friend.
5.
Are these young blood tickets?
Yes, stop interrupting me.
They've been sold out for months. How did you get those?
I won them.
He then asks to go with her, and she's like, I'm gonna ask a normal-sized white guy, no thank you. But before she could do that, she gives herself some bad karma by being a nosy bitch for no reason.
Fashionably late.
I still can't believe he asked me.
You're pathetic.
Excuse me?
And if you're like me, you know karma is also a bitch in her own way, because the same girl that she was being an asshole to is the same girl AJ's gonna go to the dance with and not to the concert with her.
Becky has muffins. I got you one.
Jane? You asked Jane to the dance?
Denied.
And not knowing how to suppress her teenaged angst, she gets mad and rips all the school dance posters off the wall, which in any kid's show obviously gets her detention.
My office?
Denied.
Now, I know this is for kids and I'm not supposed to be taking anything too serious, but the way they go about having your day repeat just shows you how much they rely on the people they cast for views. So the teacher tells Fiona that she can leave and that detention is over, but for some reason, as everybody else is leaving, including the teacher, she stays at her desk, then notices the clock going faster and faster. Getting scared, she throws an apple at it, breaking the glass, and then storms out. And that is what we're supposed to believe caused her day to start repeating itself. I have no experience in writing scripts, but if your goal was to kill my high, You succeeded. I was at Willie Nelson going into this. Now I'm closer to being Richard Nixon. I'm gonna start a fucking war on drugs because of this. Let's just get right into episode 2. So for this episode, obviously everything happens again. The egg, the drink, a couple other things. But by the time she gets to Calvin, she realizes something's up.
You alright?
Yeah, I just think I'm having some kind of weird deja vu or something.
But then by the time she gets to class, no more than 10 seconds later, she feels it's okay to use her new deja vu powers on people to be a nosy bitch once again.
I still can't believe he asked me.
What's not to believe? AJ has always had bad taste in girls.
How'd you know I was talking about AJ?
Like, is she the anti-hero or something? Because there was no precursor to her shitty attitude. She literally just woke up like this. Beyonce. But after, when she gets to AJ in the cafeteria to ask him to the dance again, she thinks everyone's playing a prank on her, and we get some of the best acting of the series yet.
Have a ball at the ball, AJ. And Jane, I know you're in on this. I know every single one of you is doing this to me, and guess what? You all got me. Congratulations. You won. But it ends here. Or else...
Have you gone totally mental, Fiona?
She's always been a super freak.
Fiona, are you alright? What are you talking about?
AJ, yesterday you told me you guys were going to the dance together.
Did you tell her?
No, I thought you told her.
What's happening? Why is this happening? It's not funny. I'm a good person. What's happening? You don't deserve this. Not funny. Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening? Why is this happening to me?
And the Oscar goes to... Dude with glasses. Anyways, after that, the show gives me the nipple twister of a lifetime because instead of getting detention, her mom is there to pick her up.
What is she doing here?
And at the end of the episode, we get a heartfelt FaceTime with Calvin that reveals that Fiona's dad is dead or gone, or they use the word gone and then never talk about him again.
Yesterday was today, and today was the same.
Fiona, you've been going through so much with your dad gone and your mom working so much.
Also, I want to mention that throughout this episode, every time something repeats, it's accompanied by this stupid sound effect.
Really late.
So for episode 3, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Apparently it spans 3 days, one where she's dressed in a fat suit, then like her teacher, then like her regular bitch self. And after being mean to everybody, not giving a fuck because she knows the day's gonna reset, she runs into the girl from the first episode who calls her out, then she feels all bad and decides she needs to change her way of life.
This is who Fiona really is.
No, it isn't.
Well, you're running out of time to be anybody else.
That's where you're wrong, Gertie.
But like literally right before that, Calvin asks her to the dance because he doesn't want to go alone, and she's just like, fuck you, fatty, you gotta ask me 3 times, one for each section of your fat ass.
Denied. Dances are gross excuses for teenagers to rub up on one another, and it's disgusting.
So for episode 4, Fiona ain't fucking around. She catches the egg, gets asked to the dance by Slurpee Boy, and says yes to the dance with Calvin at the same time for some reason, but she even congratulates Jane on dating AJ.
I just want to say, I'm really happy for you and AJ.
They even progress far enough for the dance to actually happen, and this is the first thing we see.
Wow, this is the most lit party we've had since 2013, for sure.
I didn't show it, but he also sniffs Fiona's Sharpie in the first episode.
Sorry, you were sniffing my marker and I didn't know if I was supposed to leave.
Like, is this show for kids or what the fuck? Because he's obviously portraying someone getting high. Or at least trying.
Hey, let's do the Macarena.
Then apparently we just skip the dance altogether and cut to Fiona and Slurpee Boy leaving, and after he unsuccessfully tries to kiss her, the episode ends.
See you tomorrow?
I'll see you tomorrow.
Episode 5 is nothing more than a flashback to 7 months earlier when they were all friends. It's probably the dumbest episode of the series.
They're definitely talking about us.
But we're definitely talking about them.
That's not the point, Calvin.
Episode 6, though, progresses to the point of implied incest.
It's like I would never date my sister. I mean, right?
For episode 7, everything goes right, even more so than episode 4, and Fiona even gets to kiss AJ, which breaks the curse she got from breaking the clock. What's even more weird is that AJ's dating Jane, kisses Fiona, then goes back to Jane. Like, for being a kid's show, these storylines are pretty fucking complicated. I can barely keep track of who's fucking who. So for the final episode, since she broke the curse, the days start to progress, but that doesn't mean everything's okay, because other than the fact that she stole Jane's spot in the school play that was never talked about until right now...
I didn't audition for that.
Exactly, and you took my part.
How?
That's what we're all wondering.
She starts a little drama by letting everyone know that her and AJ kissed.
AJ isn't into you like that, and he probably never will be, so get over it.
Then why did he kiss me last night?
Then something happens that actually made me want to sue Brat for wasting an hour and a half of my life. So after Jane gets mad at Fiona for kissing AJ, they get into this staring contest, and apparently some supernatural shit goes down that only they can see. But when Calvin steps in front of Fiona to break up the fight or whatever, they weren't actually doing anything to each other. But when Calvin steps in front of Fiona to stop it, he gets shot with her ghost load, and get this, they pull some Freaky Friday shit, and now they switched bodies.
Am I... Are you?
And you're me? What the?
I'm not going to say anything else, because if I tried, the only words that would come out would be words YouTube would have to ban my channel for, or give me 3 strikes. I think that's the same thing. I will say this though, if there is a season 2 in the works, please let me be in it. I don't care what you have me play. I just want to show these guys what's up. I'll even play the degenerate, aka the retard. I can make someone laugh at a disability. I mean, you're laughing at me right now, right? Well, that's it, guys. I'm kind of pissed because I forgot what my next video was going to be about, so if any of you remember, just leave it in the comments, or else I'm probably just going to shave my head. This shit's getting annoying. Until next time, peace!
Did you get my text last night?
I was probably studying for that extra credit.
Release me, please, to believe the evil is coming for you. It's me and 100 warriors armed with swords, and we sorcerers singing glory of the morning that your abortion comes.